What's up, everybody? I am Popo. Thank you very much for coming to the channel. On this channel I do a whole bunch of different tutorials on MPC workflow and a lot of different tips and tricks specifically on the MPC, but I guess right now I'm focusing on the MPC keys. And what I want to show you guys is whenever you load up a project, whenever you go to your browser and you actually go to, let's say, your expansions and you load up a kit. I'm going to go with the good old Tim Kelly kit because they're all good sounds. I like them all, and I know this is going to work for this video. So check this out. What I'm saying is whenever you go back to the main screen and you go to your drums, you see how they're different colors, like everything's laid out different. Like you can see where your kicks are, they're red, and your claps and hi-hats and all that's all color coordinated. And it's like whenever you go to assign samples, he's got all these samples. Some of them are stacked. I want to go over how to stack these two on one of these videos here. It's a lot of crazy stuff, but I want to show you guys how to build your own drum set and be able to save it. But I think it's really important to be able to understand what the difference is between your drum programs and your key groups. Like your drums would be more of like your pads and little one shots, opposed to if you wanted to play the one shot across all your keys, you would use the keys. So I want to show you how to make a key group and how to make a drum program in this. So of course you cannot make a plugin, they're already made for you. So let's get right in here. First thing that I'm going to do, the first thing that I like to do is, and you can get me wrong, you can go either way at this, but I like to load up, like I'll scroll through all these different drums and I'm like, yeah, I like these kits. And basically, and they don't even have to be expansions, they can just be your regular old drums. And you're like, oh, I like the 808 in this one, and so I load up the whole kit. We're not going to use every drum in these, but maybe there's one drum that we like. Now if you want to go ahead and speed up the process, you can go ahead and search for individual drums, but if you don't know what each drum is in a dubstep kit, you don't really know what to look for. That's why I just load up the whole kit, and then I'm going to select which drums I want, assign them to my program, save that as a drum program, and start up a brand new session with just that drum kit, and we'll be able to keep it forever. But if you just want to look at your sounds, you can hit this button here and then type in kick or snare or whatever it is that you're looking for, and it'll go through all of your kicks. But me, I just like to load up the whole thing. Okay, so again, I just push in the wheel to load up my stuff, and I think that this is just really important to know how to do. So now that we got some kits loaded up, let's go back to the main. What I'm going to go here to where it says none, and I'm going to hit the plus. It's going to say program 1, and I'm going to name it my drums, or just my for right now. Let's just go here and assign samples. So again, all I did, I just hit main, and I hit the plus on the drums to make a blank program. There's nothing on the pads. So now I'm going to assign my samples. Say I want that right here. So you can either double tap this and double tap. What I do, I select which pad I want, and then I want this drum there, and I select it like that. Once you have these all loaded up, I usually put a kick there, whatever. Once you have these all loaded up and you have this all full, you're like, cool, I have my drums, but where do I go? So what you have to do here now is go back to your main screen, and on your drums now you have these 3 pads. If you hit the pencil, you can go ahead right here and save your current drum program, and you save it so that you can go ahead and call it up whenever you want to. But my thing is if you hear a sound in there that you want to use, let's go back to assign samples and let's scroll through one. This 808 right here, for instance, let's say we want this on this pad. We're going to put that right here, okay? So I go back to main, and I have the 808 right here. Now I can 16 level that, but if I don't want to just have 16 levels, if there's not an octave in that 16 level that I want, so I 16 level it, meaning I can switch it from here to tune, and if you push in, it'll show you all the different. You can do ratchet, probability. We're going to do tune. So now all these pads, but then I run out of sound. So if I want to turn that into, and that's what I'm saying, you can 16 level these, but if you want to go ahead and make it into a drum program, you would hit your program edit. If you have a program edit and then you hit this piano up here, you select the pad you want, then you hit this piano right here, it assigns it to a key group. So now whenever I go back to main, you'll see that it went to a key group, and it's got the 808 to where I can play all the way up and down the keys. So that's the difference between a drum program and a key group, meaning your key groups are going to be anything that's inside of these pianos right here, or any sound that you select that is a sample. Now getting to your key groups can be a little tricky, because when you're in your key groups, if you notice when you're in your drums here, it says edit samples, assign samples, warp samples, but when you're in your key groups, there's none of that there. So in order, let's hit plus, and this is program 1, and it's like, how do we put our samples on this key group? You actually have to hit browse and then hit sample assign. Like if Akai could just put a sample assign thing here the same way they got it for the drums, and even an edit samples or a warp sample for the keys, that would be really, really cool. Because right now we have to hit this browse. You can hit shift and that. I like to double tap it. That's why I'm having a hard time with it. But then you hit sample assign down here, and then it's got your samples. There's that 808, and when we select it on pad A1, it's going to load across all the pads, and that's basically what, but you see how it cuts it off? Let's go back to the drum program where it was that 808 that was super sick. See how it rang out? It made the key group with the effects and everything, but whenever I went to the key, you see what I'm saying? Whenever I created my own, it sampled it all into all the keys raw, so you can add your own effects into it. But when you do it from the drums and you assign a sample and you make the key group, it keeps it just the same way you heard in the drum kit. See? So I think that's really, really dope, the way that they did that. But I don't see why it would be any different at the same time. Anyway, that's pretty much the video for the day, guys. I'm Polypopo. I just had to put something out here, and I think it's important to know the difference between your drums and your key group. I hope that helped a little bit. Whenever you hit your browser in the beginning, you got your drums, and those are your drums. Anything that you hear in there is going to go on the pads. It's going to be a one-shot, individual notes on each pad, a drum, a kick, a snare, a hi-hat, maybe some vocals. And if you want to convert them into the key group, then you just go up here and hit the keys. One more thing, when he had the samples stacked on those pads earlier, these little dots down here, see right here, I only have this selected, but if I want to put another sample, I can go ahead and put, and then I can adjust it and put effects and all kinds of different stuff here with the envelopes. I can do up to 4, so let's just, put, it's really, really cool. And if you hit the dot again, you can do the onset and offset time. what's really cool is if you hit the dot again, you can do the onset offset time and you know, start the kick a little bit. You know, it kind of throws everything off like this. It's just weird. It's good fun too. Alright, so we got that here. I want to show you what it looks like on the pad, and then we're going to wrap this up. So I'm going to go to edit or assign samples, and now I got those stacked up on the pads. Now I'm going to try to clean up this video a little bit. It was a little bit everywhere, but there were some good points in here I'm going to keep. Oh, I appreciate you guys, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to make a video for you guys. Or if this wasn't very clear, let me know, and I'll clean it up something. And that I like to double